We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Steve and Jack Butala.
and I'm Jill DeWitt, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 2220. Today, Jill and I are talking about the 24-month Millionaire Land Investor Program, Deconstructed. As Jill said yesterday, this is about an 8-year program. We haven't talked about it in a long time. I don't know why, because I put it all together before the show so we can talk about it here. And it's a good program. It makes a lot of sense.
It's like this came about a year or two after we launched Land Academy in 2015. And it was people going, wanting to know what to expect. They got the basics down. When can I fill in the blank? And you would say, well, if you do these things, this will come. But they needed a real specific roadmap. And you sat down and put it out. And it's so great because I know you're going to explain it in great detail here in a few minutes, so I don't want to take away from that. But
it's okay.
How you deconstructed it in a spreadsheet for everyone to really see, like, oh, yeah, I see how I can have $1 million in 24 months doing. This is what the deals would look like. This is how hard I have to work. It's all, really spelled out. How much mail goes out to get that. Everything. It's really, and then everybody can take a step back and go, okay, that's real. I get it. I believe you. And thank you for doing that. That's how your mind thinks, which is really good. Yeah. And I'm very lucky to be with you because I don't have to worry about that stuff. You just tell me, here's what our numbers are. It's great. I don't see the numbers like that. Like, I don't look the 2 years out. I look what are my monthly goals, please? Yeah. Spoken like a true salesperson, because I'm 0 to 0 every month, and everybody knows what that is.
Jill's very good at, and I think it's because it's a lot of it's our age and maybe our influence on each other, but you're very good at when we start something new, taking the lumps and accepting the learning curve. Like, the real awesomeness doesn't happen until, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. And at the end of the middle, you start to see major results in whatever you're trying to accomplish. I don't care what it is. And then the end period, let's call it, that's the fun.
It is the fun.
But you got to go through the stuff in the beginning. And that's what the 24-month Millionaire explains.
I hate to admit this, so please don't use this against me. But
who, me?
Yes. Or anyone listening, please don't bring this up. You're like, you said.
Yeah, I know.
But I do. It's boring at the end when you hit your goals. Sometimes you're like, well, now what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I do like the beginning and the middle. I like the front end of it. Like,
you and I need to be challenged.
It's exciting. This is great. Is it going to work? I think so. When I know it is, because we're those people. We won't let it fail. And if things don't work out for us, like pizza, it's because our hearts weren't in it. We changed our minds, and that's okay.
There's a movie called Bandits, and Billy Bob Thornton's in there, and he's one of the thieves, and he's explaining to everybody else in his group, Bruce Willis and everybody. It's a pretty old movie. Not old, but he says, listen, one of the problems with being intelligent is you pretty much know what's going to happen next. And that's where we are.
That's exactly
in our land career.
I hate that. You know what? That goes with being a mom.
Yeah.
I watched it all unfold. I knew when all of that stuff was being drug out of the garage. I knew what kind of ramp was going to be constructed, and I knew in about 2 hours we'd be on our way to the ER. I hate that, and but it just has to happen.
So when I pull up a deal on a Thursday call, would you do this deal for a member or whatever, and there's about an 1/8 of a second moment where it comes up on Parcel Fact, the actual property, and now I know what's going to happen next for the next 10 minutes. Exactly. But I have to go slow and be positive.
I wonder. I am sure our seasoned members, because we're on camera and we're all on camera now. The way we do it, we all mic up and put cameras on if they want to, and so I am sure the moment that they could sense that we see the property, they can see the look on our faces of if we like it or don't like it immediately. what's going to happen? Like, nope, not going to happen. Or, yeah, this is great,
But then nobody learns anything. So
True.
we have to explain ourselves.
We do.
Here's why. Because the whole point is to help people develop that skill for themselves
True.
on a faster schedule than the decades that it took us to do it.
True. I was waiting for you to call us ding-dongs, but anyway.
Each day on the show, we answer a question from our Land Academy member Discord forum, and then we take a deep dive into land-related topics by your request.
Okay. Josh wrote a lengthy one, so I want to see how long it is. There we go. Okay. Hoping someone with experience with SFRs can provide some guidance.
That's me.
Long post, so apologies in advance. I'm trying to get ready for mailing to SFRs, and I have a few questions from reviewing the House Academy 1.0 material. So, for the SFR red, yellow, green test, sold to listed properties ratio isn't discussed, unless I missed it.
You did not miss it.
Is a 2-for-1 ratio
Yes.
still ideal? I'm finding the ratio is typically much higher for houses. So, for those mailing houses, are you aiming for a higher ratio?
So let's slow down for a second, and I'm going to answer these as we go instead of at the end.
Okay.
The red, yellow, green test is a test that I devised looking at statistics in a zip code market about what has happened in the last month. How many properties got listed? How many properties got sold? How many properties are stale on the market? Are there too many properties in the universe of properties in that zip code? Too many properties listed for us to be interested. The whole point to that test is to look into a crystal ball, and when you find a property that meets your acquisition criteria in that market, you know what's going to happen next, and you know how fast it's going to sell because the market's real hot. Or you know what type of property sells faster than another type of property. So this is my way of forcing you to choose a market long before you ever send out mail or do a mailer or anything, that if it happens, if you get a good acquisition, there's a real good chance you're going to cash out of it correctly. All of that stuff with land and houses is the same. I did not devise this truthfully with houses because when I did the whole program, and this is truth time, it just seemed like a logical scenario. But you choose places to send mail for houses and land exactly the same way.
Thank you. Part 2, scrubbing out houses with mortgages. I understand how targeting owners without a mortgage makes sense for easier deals with a higher likelihood of owners who can sell for far below retail. But my question is regarding the idea that if a 3-to-1 and a 5-to-1 ARM loans from the pandemic boom are just now adjusting, then is it advantageous to target those owners?
Here's the problem with selling property or buying property with people who have new mortgages. Just like trying to buy a used car with somebody who just drove it off the lot. Chances are they owe more money than they do than the property is worth. With the 3-in-1 and 5-in-1 mortgages that are coming due now, that means 5 years or 3 years earlier, the interest rates are going up. That's a huge motivation factor for a seller. Oh my God, my mortgage is going up. I'm just going to sell this house. I'm going to go back and live in an apartment or make a different decision for you and your family. And so, yes, you can do that, but it only works if the equity piece is where it should be. If you're going to go buy a house for $300,000 and the owner has $298,000 of debt on it, I mean, how do you think that's going to go? I can tell you how it's going to go. It's not going to go well.
They usually don't have the dough to pay it off.
I'm telling you, what this does is help you keep your mailing cost down. People who have no mortgage, which is 50% of homeowners, by the way, in the entire country, and it's been like that since 1950, and it's like that now, plus or minus 5 or 8%. Then they're choosing to sell the property for life-changing reasons, the same reason the land seller chooses to sell land. They're experiencing a life event. It's not price. It's not responding to some market. It's not a real estate deal for them. They're just done. Mm-hmm. And so they're going to be less concerned about price and more concerned about how happy they feel that Jill's calling them and how quickly we can get the deal done and how painless it is. Mm-hmm. Customer service kind of thing at that point.
True. All right, part 3. What's TLDR?
I don't know.
All right. Does sold to new listing ratio matter for SFRs? Do I still avoid mortgages on SFRs for easier deals? Or does the hypersupply and recession market cycle change the approach?
So this is a really good question, and it's something that you're going to have to answer for yourself. My red, yellow, green test for houses is about 25 columns long. If I teach a 25 column long red, yellow, green test to people who are entering this industry, they're going to shut down.
True.
So all those things matter that you just mentioned, and they matter a lot. And so do the 3-in-1 and 5-in-1 arms. In fact, if you have the right data source, it's ATTOM data, ATTOM. They know exactly what everybody's mortgage balance is this month. So you can manipulate it that way. So yes, if those things make sense to you, please add them when you're ready to your red, yellow, green test.
Thank you. Today's topic, giving Jack a moment to breathe and take a drink of tea if he likes, because I get to sit back, is the 24-month Millionaire Land Investor Program deconstructed, created, written, and explained by Jack.
All right, here you go. At the end of doing what I explain right now, you should have about $1 million in the bank. For months 1 through 6, 1 through 5, 1 through 6, you decide what's best for you. I want you to immerse yourself in the education process, specifically the Land Academy education process. I want you to set up a peer group, which is real easy to do in Land Academy because we're all on Discord. Find the people that are better at answering the phone if you're not too good at it. Find the people who are better at doing the mail if you're not too good at it. And immerse yourself and develop an amazing dynamic personality within our group. I also want you to go out all over the internet and look at other education products, collect as much free information on podcasts and all that stuff that you can do about flipping land and flipping houses that you possibly can. I want you to forget, and this is a key, forget about sending mail out. I want you to learn about it. I want you to kind of do a try, not send it out in the mail trial, but do a bunch of dry runs like I talk about in chapters 3 and 4 in Land Academy 3.0. I see a lot of people come into our group and they want to do a mailer in 2 weeks. Some people do. They come through us through other education sources. They were unhappy about it. They were ready to do a mailer and they got it out in 2 weeks and started doing deals. That's not how I would recommend this. If you have a job in college and you're making money, you have only so much bandwidth, so then you're going to spend less time learning. I don't want that to happen for you. If you have a full-time job, absolutely take 5 or 6 months to learn all this stuff. Ask a ton of questions and get to know other people. On the 7th month, the 6th or 7th month, let's just call it 7, I want you to send out your first mailer, and I want you to digest that you're going to make some mistakes. I want you to get familiar with the process, not only just with that first mailer, but the process of answering the phone when the mail hits, handling sellers, and when you do hit speed bumps or even walls, that community that you established in the first 6 months, reach out to them and figure it out. By the way, you're developing future partnerships. In month 8, you're going to send out a second mailer, and you're going to make less mistakes. Nobody's talking about selling a property yet or buying a property yet. You're sending mailers out and learning how to do that. Month 9, you're going to send your third mailer out, and you're going to buy your first property from one of those 3 mailers. You got a lot of mail out now, 3 months worth of mail. And no matter how I try and how Jill and I try in Land Academy, we can't communicate this concept effectively. It takes a bunch of months before you're going to do your first deal. It takes a lot of mail, a lot of practice, and a lot of screwing stuff up. I don't care if you're a seasoned commercial real estate professional, you've probably never sent a mailer out. This is different. You're going to have to learn. Now you're off to the races. You've got, I don't know, at least 15,000 units of mail out there, maybe more, because we're sending at least, this is the rock bottom, 5,000 units of mail out every month. So now you got 15,000 units out there. It's month 9. You're preparing for month 10. You're going to send out your 4th mailer. You're going to buy your 2nd property. Month 11, you're going to send out your 5th mailer. You've got 25,000 units of mail out there, bare minimum. And then you're going to buy your 3rd property, and you're going to sell your first property. And because you did everything right in the education, you're going to make between $40,000 to $60,000, $70,000. Let's just say some number in there. Well, Jack, where did I get the money to buy the first property? I don't have any money. You're going to deal fund it with the people that you met in the first 1 through 6 months. You're going to send it to Jill. She's going to approve it or not. If she doesn't like it, she's going to say, please put it back out in the market and get a deal funded. Get the deal funded by somebody in our group that's more aligned to do, let's say, XYZ properties. Maybe we're not doing infill lots right now because of the market, but somebody else is. I guarantee it. Getting your deal funded, if it's good, is the last thing you should need to worry about. And I don't want you to even think about using your own money, even if you have it on those first few deals, because I want you to develop relationships with partners. There's a ton of lazy people with tons of money in our group. All they want to do is fund deals and talk on the phone with you. They don't want to talk to customers. They don't want to talk to Jill and I. And they don't want to learn about buying and selling land. Just fund your deals. Now you're off to the races. You're sending out at least 5,000 units of mail, and you're buying and you're selling and buying one property per month. That's your whole goal. Not to make $1 million, not to get a Ferrari or impress some girl. Just keep your head down, get the mail out, process it. Because right now you're way ahead of the curve. You've got 30, 40, 50,000 units of mail out there. And then for the next month through 11 through month through 24, buy one, sell one, buy one, sell one. At the end of that, and it's hard for me to describe this over the airwaves, you will have between $1 million accumulated, somewhere between $700,000 and $1 million accumulated. That's the 24-month millionaire. What happens?
And it really, I guess, say that's one deal a month when you get rolling, and that's really once you start going in less than 18 months of money coming in.
That's so. Where everybody gets tripped up is through months 1 through 10.
True. They all want to do it today, tomorrow. Can I make money in 90 days? Can I make money in 30 days? Hold on a moment.
Can you? Yes.
You can.
If you're extraordinary.
Yeah.
You know, if you have Jill's personality times 4, there's a chance that you can do that.
It's going to take everything you got.
Why? Why would you do that? Yeah. Can you take 10 college classes in one term? Sure. You're going to fail half of them.
Yeah, you have no life.
And learn nothing. Yeah.
Maybe not sleep.
So this is the roadmap to 24 months. What I haven't talked about in the past, and I'll tell you right now, is that on month 25, you have about 90,000 mailers in play in the last year and a half.
And that's reasonable. That's what, 5,000 a month?
5,000.
That's very manageable.
And you have between 700, 800, and $1 million in the bank. So that now the cost of doing a mailer is insignificant to you because you've proven it to yourself. And this is where you want to get yourself mentally, because in month 24, 90,000 mailers are in play. You're going to buy one and sell one. And but just buy one property and sell one property a month, which is silly. We do way more than that. Most of the successful people in our group do that. They don't do it because they set out to do 52 properties a year. They do it because there's so much mail out there, and they're reviewing these deals that are coming in, and they're good.
They might buy 4 one month and 1 the next month.
So now you're making $1 million a year. And that's when you join Career Path. Career Path is packed full of people. The story I just told you, they did all of that. Yeah. And they're tired of making $1 million a year. They want to make 10 million. And so that's what we talk about in Career Path. And it's usually 10 or 15, 20 of us.
Right.
That's the 24-month millionaire.
It was beautiful.
Did I leave anything out?
No, it was perfect. I loved it.
Okay.
Thank you. Trust me, I would have brought it up.
That's what I figured. Hey, join us tomorrow where Jill and I discuss the top worst states to select for land investment. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
We are Jack and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable, and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.